Okay guys, you're watching Mower Redneck, and today we have a Ford YT16H. Now I have close to fully restored this machine. As well, at least I can hope you can see, is the paint. I have just repainted the fenders. Now they're very dirty, but just got the fenders repainted. Just got the tires painted, but there's some grass on it from driving it over here. Just got the hood nice and painted too. Getting dirty like everything else on this. Now, some things that have not been restored. The mower deck. Mower deck is far from being restored. Here's the other side of the mower deck. As you can see, there's a giant hole in it. This thing also at some point had an oil leak because there is oil everywhere. Everywhere you look, there is oil. There's oil in there, just stacked up onto itself. Let's take a look inside of this motor. Pop these two clips up, one over here, one over here. And as you can see, in here we have a Briggs or Stratton twin. This thing turns over very hard, and you'll see in a minute. It is a twin 16 horsepower lawnmower engine, and it runs decent. We got to do some more tuning to that carburetor right there. But I'm sure we will make a video in the future over that carburetor. Here is the hydraulic fluid for the rear end. It's decent. It's not really great. And you can easily identify it as hydraulic when you have the forward and reverse pedals right there. Reverse doesn't really work that, hardly at all on this lawnmower, but when you have the clutch right here, which now is released, but has to be pressed in to start it. There's a slight crack in the seat over here, but other than that, the seat's just fine. Okay, now let's go over controls. Okay, now on to the dash controls. First of all, we have the ignition. The ignition on, off, and start. On, off, and start. So, off, and then on, your lights work and your PTO will turn on, and then you will click start and it will start to turn the motor over. Okay, next we have the lights button over here, which is lights. And then you have your cruise control, so you will hold down your gas pedal, and then you'll come over here, lift it up, and then click it in the mode, and it'll hold there. Then if you want to release, press it back down, lift the bar over, set it down. There you go. Now, down a little bit farther, and here we have the amps. So it tells you how much amps your battery is either using or is gaining. So when it's running, your amps will go up higher because your battery is getting a more charge, and it'll go down lower when you're trying to start it. Idle up and down. This just makes your motor idle higher or lower. And then right here, your PTO, which is your deck. And then up here, you have your choke. Sometimes you need to have to start it when it's cold outside, like today. Okay, and now we just have labels here. You can go ahead and pause the video if you want to see any of this. If you want to see any of that. Basically just talking about the parking and brake and clutch and all of that stuff. And then, right here, we do have the tow. This basically is when it's on a trailer or something and you're moving it, you're going to want to disengage it. So right here, you're going to want to leave it like this when you're towing because it doesn't roll. If you put it right here, then it's meant to roll, but not very far since it's a hydrostatic transmission. Back here we have your Ford decal, and then you have your gas tank. Now this has a little dial on it, so when you unscrew it or screw it in, there's a little float right here. And the more the gas, this float will move up and down. And that will turn this little knob right here, which will basically tell you full or empty. Well, there's the gauge to tell you full or empty is gone, but the float and everything's still there. So with a quick decal, you can easily replace that. Under the seat, we have your seat adjustment, and then right here you have the new haul and tag and where it was bought. Here at the rear of the motor, you have a drawbar. This is where you can just hook up a small dump trailer or really anything that hooks to that. Over here, you have these pins to take out your drawbar, and this hooks up to a tiller, or you can even hook up to a snowplow, which will hook up where all the deck mounts are, and you can push snow. That is it for the video on everything you need to know about your Ford YT16H. There's your deck's serial number, and then your lawnmower serial number. Last but not least, time to hear it run. Make sure your clutch is pressed in, and you can actually lock your clutch in by pressing it in and then lifting up on this little knob right here. After that's done, go ahead and keep it at a steady idle. I have mine all the way up because my carburetor's jacked up. Make sure your PTO is off, lights off, and then make sure this is out. Or this can be in, it can be either way. I shouldn't have to use the choke to start it, but let's find out. Cruise control is set. Time to start running. Well, that's it for this video. I will see you guys in the next one.